konnichiwa, 私はJeidoChannel.i でよろしくお願いします and welcome back. But we're not reacting to anything today. I'm finally going to do that Milgram whole video. You see, okay, hold on. I was working on one. It was gonna be a more unique one. Like, I was voicing over you guys, like, comments and everything like that. And, for some reason, when I was almost done with it, the file got corrupted and I can't open it anymore. So I took that as a sign, like, hey, maybe it was just meant for me to do it in person instead. Okay, so now I'm here in my cheap little budget girl set clip cosplay. If anyone has ever looked on my channel and seen that a couple years ago, maybe 2, 3, maybe it's almost 3 years ago now, that I did like a budget girl cosplay from Black Butler. So I'm just her, that's that. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to actually be in person, like, reading these comments that you guys have, and then I'm going to actually do my own Milgram list. Yeah. And so yeah, that should be something. That should be fun. That should be amazing. But I'm just gonna go by like how I actually feel about the character themselves mostly. I'm not gonna really worry about like including like talking about like the cases like overly too much, because you guys already know how I feel about the cases from my reactions. Like, I feel like most of my community like already knows how like I feel about the cases. Yeah, I know that I put out these polls like a month ago. Actually, it's almost 2 months ago now. Why am I lying? It's almost 2 months ago now. Oh my gosh, Haruka's does say 2 months. That other video was taking me so long because there was a lot of editing involved, and I thought I would, you know, do something unique, but apparently not. So, yeah, we're gonna be here just doing this today. And if you're new here and you haven't seen my Milgram reactions and you're not a part of my community, then I have a whole playlist of my Milgram reactions. At first, I am very clueless. I slowly work my way into the series, and then I'm still clueless. So, yeah, there's that. But everyone who already knows me, welcome back. So, yeah, let's get this up. Let's get this up. 夢を捨ていた夢を捨ていた愛される弱者になれたかった否定を捨ていた否定を捨ていた Alright, so I asked what you guys' thoughts were on Haruka, and so the the voting, oh my gosh, my thing is messing up. The voting, 36% of you said S tier. Okay, it has 183 votes. 36% of you said S tier. 44% of you said A tier. 19% said B or C tier. And then 2% said D or F tier. Alright? So A tier is our most voted for Haruka, it seems. S tier, I love him so much. He's so well written in my opinion. His childlike nature and naivety is present in such a tragic light and twisted predicament. My baby, I love him. Kiba almost says, I love Haruka. Especially for him being my first favorite Milgram character and for being such a tragic character, I think everything else about him is okay. I especially like his T2 version design, song, and voice drama are peak. I do really like his T2 design much better than the T1 design, because I love how he has the moves little clips on the side, and he just looks so much more confident like that. I like that. I love that. Says S tier. I love him so much because he's literally my favorite character ever. Do not take this lightly. I watched Milgram because I thought the concept was cool, and I didn't think I'd get into it, but I really liked him the first time I saw him. The voice trial, good idea. Start trauma dumping as your first impression because it worked on me. I didn't think I'd like him so much, but the odd thing is that I know that trial 2 is where a lot of people started disliking him. That's what made me like him more. Vanilla says, I would go around A or B. He's pretty well written. Like everyone else, he deserved better. I really don't have much to say about that hasn't been said. So right now, I'm just curious how his actions shaped Haruka. Oh, they shaped him alright. He really I really do like that his actions had an impact on Mu specifically. because of how everything was set up with him and Mu. And I really think that Mu kind of needed that for, you know, a certain type of growth for her character, because I feel like she's going to have like even more growth, hopefully. If I'm thinking positively here, if I'm thinking positively, I feel like she'll have even more growth from this experience, even though it's traumatic. I feel like, you know, I feel like something will come out of it for her, a little bit, at least a little bit, because she actually experienced like something close enough to true friendship that she's never had. So yeah. Zimio says C tier, just because they don't care about him very much. Caramelized Omelette says, OMG, I'm the only person to pick D or F. I found this comment really funny. The 01, 04, OTP. Haruka, Mahiru, Ira. D tier. I hate him. Die. And then Archie said, are you okay? And then they were like, yes, this is just a joke. I'm so emotionally attached to him that it hurts. Haruka is such a well-written character, and he's so relatable that it ruined my life. Well, Haruka, what's up with Haruka ruining people's lives? So me personally, Haruka isn't like one of my favorites, but Haruka's pretty decent to me. But I like that Haruka has some impact on what's going on. I like his impact on Mu specifically. I think Haruka is a decent, imperfect victim in almost close to the same way that Amane is, because realistically, certain people don't react to neglect or abuse in specific ways that make them very pitiable. I like the portrayal of Haruka and Amane being those imperfect victims, because it's also very realistic. I feel like, especially about the case about his parents' neglect and how they basically neglected him because he's has developmental issues that he cannot help. I feel like if you're going to be parents, then you should take in account for how your child could turn out. Your child is a whole nother person. Your child isn't like a mini-me of you. I think Haruka is a pretty solid A. So I think I agree with the majority saying that he's, you know, A tier. I really like his story. Not that I obviously don't condone like the things that Haruka has done and the crimes that he's committed, but I feel like he's a very good character as far as being written, and as far as, you know, him wanting the attention that he couldn't get from his parents, and then he relied on Mu for that, and he was determined until the end to do something that would help her, even though it, I don't think it helped, but you know, but he was really determined to help Mu, even though it might not have turned out in the way that anyone would hope it turned out. But I do like his character. Alright, so Yuno, 193 votes, 75% of you said S tier, 18% said A tier, 6% says B or C tier, and then 2% says D or F tier. Gen says, I enjoy Yuno's character and I find her really interesting, really intriguing. Definitely my second to third favorite, and her songs are overlooked a lot. S tier for sure. I don't trust Yuno haters. I think she has one of my favorite writings because it proves how biased people are towards characters that they can deem pitiful or innocent. Yuno's character revolves around how, as a collective, we chase the ideal version of someone so that we can vote them innocent. For example, Mahiru in T2 got the most pity votes because she was barely standing alive. Once she was out of the picture, people started showing dislike towards her because they couldn't pity her miserable state. The same is now for Yuno. People wanted to pity her in the same way, see her as naive, which is irritating, and I love how Yuno's character grew because of Shidou and Mahiru's impact on her. Um, for context, Tulin, like the day before they posted this, said C tier for Yuno. And then came back, said S. The one who said C yesterday were the demons in my head, by the way. Tulin. Not sure how I rank her. She's cool, but for Milgram, I'm not that interested in her or what she brings, especially since a lot of fans assume double guilty or third trial guilty results in execution. While I don't think she should be doing compensating dating at her age, and as a result terminating her pregnancy, is not something I would want her to be punished over and possibly executed for. A lot of fans don't really discuss her outside of calling her a girl boss from what I've seen in fandom circles. She's putting herself in dangerous situations by going out with these men so she can have the more she's looking for. She's definitely forgivable, innocent, but again, for Milgram specifically, I don't feel like she works. Character-wise, Yuno is an S. For Milgram Childs, I don't know, maybe a C. Her songs and covers are really good. My thing with Yuno, I really like Yuno. I feel like there's more to Yuno besides like the case. I'm interested in more from Yuno, like throwing the case aside. I want to know like how she got in like her position. I want to know like how she feels so empty inside, because as we know like from the interrogations, she has like a good family, she gets along with them, you know, she has like a pretty relatively normal life. So I'm wondering like, is she just like, does she have like a form of depression, or does she have like something else that causes her to feel like empty and to have her like feel so cold inside that she has to seek things out from the compensating dating? So I'm more curious about like her background and how and why she feels the way that she does, you know, constantly. I really like how in her relationship with Mahiru and Shidou, where she was helping like Shidou take care of Mahiru, and she's always like next to Mahiru. She genuinely cares about people that she likes. But I just wonder like what else is there, what's the catalyst of causing you to feel like that inside? So I honestly think she's like almost an S, especially like if we find out like what's going on with her, because she makes me like really curious, and I like keep thinking about like, hey, like what's her deal, what's going on with her? So that's that. どうすんだ自変軸が席の向こうに止まれ冗談じゃない広さ 197 votes. 44% of you said S tier. 26% said A tier. 22% said B or C tier. And 8% of you said D or F. The top comment here, I'm sorry, I can't read this. But you said, Fuuta is such a realistic character. My friend really loves him, and I always have to listen to her telling me about how cute she is. So I guess I can't put him lower than an A. S tier. I love my chronically online Twitter user. If this is IRL, though, I probably would have blocked him already, though. I can't be bothered to entertain call-out culture. I feel like out of everyone who committed a crime, he's probably one of the least likely to do it again. He was shown to regret and be scared of his actions since the end of his first music video. Fuuta has a strong sense of justice, but his hero complex did take over and things went south fast. While it doesn't excuse his actions with his actual victims, it does show that he is aware of his actions and wants to atone. It may not be the perfect atonement. This fandom has a problem expecting the prisoners to have the perfect response, I feel. But it's a lot to take in. He's unnaturally pretty brash, despite his strong sense of justice, so it'll take time, and that's not something that he has a luxury of having, being in Milgram. Tulin, the hashtags? Hashtag Fuuta forgiven. Okay. Fuuta is shown as a character with an aggressive nature with a strong sense of justice. He sees himself as a hero, someone who punishes bad people without hesitation. His confidence and impulsivity make him appear reckless, but deep down, he is insecure and struggles with guilt. Milgram showed us that his story highlights how being easily righteous can turn into cruelty when left unchecked. He went from I did nothing wrong to everything I did was wrong to I don't give a F anymore. I love him for that. Take all the pity he gets and give it to Moo. F tier. Alright. I don't know how to word this without making me seem like a Fuuta hater. Now, before Archie and Tulin cancel me, I'm just going to start by saying, look, maybe Fuuta, maybe this little ginger isn't for everyone. Like, I don't hate him. If you guys remember, like, before, like, my reactions, I always said, like, hey, I don't hate anyone. There might be ones I like less than others, and unfortunately Fuuta is one of those. And it's not because of his case. I just don't think that because honestly, I don't know. He reminds me of like a tsundere type of character, and I'm not the biggest fan of like tsundere type of characters. I might be wrong. I don't know. Remember like the character introductions? He's like, "Rewa Kajirama Fuuta." He feels like he's trying to like, like, sir, I'm not impressed. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna lie. Fuuta's a good character. He is a good written character, especially, and I'm very interested in like how he's gonna be going forward, especially when he's allied with Amane. So I'm very intrigued and curious about his character for that part. But in the beginning, I'm not the biggest fan of Fuuta. I'm not gonna lie. You know, sometimes characters aren't for people. I feel like I would put him in like B, like not very low, but not very high. He's just mid. But you know what? Honestly, I will give him this. I will give Fuuta this. He's kind of funny sometimes. He's funny, especially in the timelines. He does crack me up sometimes. All right, there. So that's that. Moo, I think, had the least amount of votes, but I already know why that is, because the morning that I posted this, I also posted like one of my reaction videos. So some of you guys probably didn't see it, because I know sometimes when you post and like a video at the same time, they might not like show up in the algorithm. So we'll that's fine. Anyway, 55% of you said S tier, 31% said A tier, 8% said B or C tier, and then 6% said D or F tier. S tier, best character writing. She actually deserves S plus. One of the best vocalists. All her songs are bangers. S tier, top tier, S plus. People seem to always ignore her more personable and sensitive side. They love to bring a queen down. Yes, obviously, yes. They will always love to bring down a fabulous queen. Honestly, Moo, as of recently, started to actually grow on me. Like, the more I'm listening and rewatching her interrogation videos, the more I'm sort of understanding her perspective. Like, other than the intense gaslighting, she's someone who has a point on us being hypocrites by voting her guilty in the second trial. I think she's definitely guilty, but she's a manipulative slay queen. And I love her for it. S tier. I love how everyone that actually commented said S tier. I think Moo was pretty funny because of the fact that one of the best like parts in her voice dramas are like when S is like, "No, Moo, I'm not going to vote you to vote you innocent just because you said so. Just because you asked me like a nice person." And Moo's just like, "I hate you. You're so mean." I like her. She's kind of quirky. I'm not gonna lie. I like her because she's kind of like she has the manipulativeness, but like the way that she genuinely cared for like Haruka is interesting. and I like her background because she's very spoiled, but at the same time, like, it's kind of like her peers were a very like bad influence on her as well. And I know like her and Fuuta are like kind of like parallel because of the fact that they're both a different type of bully. But I just feel like as like I'm doing this like as a character, like not like related to like the crime like that much. Like as a character, I feel like Moo just has this quick switch like personality, and that's interesting to me. So I think I would actually put her like next to Haruka or after Haruka. I don't know, I'll put her right there because I like the intrigue that she has with her personality. She has very like interesting personality to me, and like I have to make it clear like this is just like character and like personality and like like how they intrigue me. And she has a fun personality. I don't know. I'm trying to look for like valid reasons, but I actually honestly I don't feel like I need to have like specific valid reasons for why I like certain characters. I don't know. I'm just drawn to like whoever like I feel like I like. Okay, Shidou. 211 votes. Now we're getting into like more higher voting numbers, okay? Okay. So 58% said S tier. 26% said A tier. 13% said B or C tier. And then 2% said D and F. Mims says Shidou, my man, my goat, my husband, wife. S tier without hesitation. I'm a sucker for tragic stories, so his really caught my eye in particular. Yeah, everyone in Milgram has a sad story, but losing what you hold dear one random day, doing everything to save it, seeing it as a responsibility only to fail even after saving countless lives is one more level in terms of tragedy. He did his best to help Haruka, Fuuta, Mappi, and Amane. I love him for that. Plus, I like the kind and caring father figure vibes he gives, but I still don't know how he got more innocent votes than Yuno. Not a bad character, but his fans offended him too much, saying things like he always those patients can't be saved anymore, so it's really not murder. Yeah, but those organs could have been saved so many other people who needs it, you know. But either way, I don't really care about him as a character, so C. Unfortunately, don't give it F. Unfortunately, C tier. I love how both the Mizuki both the Mizuki profile pictures said C. Mizuki fans are just in sync. She's so powerful that they just sync together. I don't know why, but he gives me suspicious vibes. It's honestly just me jumping to conclusions, but he's too nice. His whole wanting to die thing was also kind of suspicious. I also think he murdered his kids because his wife and kids dying is so odd to me. Once again, I think it's honestly just me jumping to conclusions, but other than that, I'm not really too big on his songs or anything either. Prefer his covers more, to be honest. F tier. Okay, so my take, before I say like how I feel about Shidou as a character, my take on the Shidou's whole family dying is, remember the video where I did the interrogations for Shidou's second trial? And there was a question about, do you drive or like, can you drive? My immediate thought was, cause he said, I did, but I don't anymore. My immediate thought after that was that he and his family went somewhere, he was driving the car, and, you know, the classic, you know, trope where they get into a car accident and the family dies. I think his kids probably immediately died in the accident, but I think his wife was in, like, went to the hospital. She needed like a transplant to maybe survive, and that's why he was trying like so hard to get hold of like a transplant or something, or an organ that she needed, and failed. But my question was, why did he have to go through so many organs to be able to find one that was compatible for her? But then I also thought, like, okay, why is that the case when they have, like, documents on, like, a brain dead person's, like, organs or, like, any type of documented, like, you know, matches or anything, like, or would they not have, or maybe they didn't have it on record because, you know, in Japan you have to, like, list yourself as the donor or whatever, so they might not have the records or anything, I don't know. But another thing that I thought was, if you're, like, going through so many of these people, I'm thinking, and it might just be me, like, spewing things off, but I wondered if Shidou kind of disillusioned himself into thinking that she was still alive. Maybe she actually died as well, but he couldn't accept it, so he tried to, like, he kind of, like, kept thinking that, okay, maybe she's still alive, maybe I can get, you know, her a donor or an organ if I keep looking. So I don't know, it's kind of between, so I think the first one is more correct than, like, him disillusioning himself, but yeah, that's what I think. However, Shidou as a character, this is gonna sound kind of mean, it's gonna sound a little mean, but Shidou as a character is kind of like a glow stick to me. You know how when you have, like, a glow stick, you snap it up, you light it up, you're watching his trials, okay, you're interested for the moment, then the glow stick, like, eventually, like, fades, and then you're like, oh, okay. That's how I kind of feel, because he's there, but he's not, like, so, like, I know that he did the doctoring on Mahiru and, like, Fuuta and stuff like that, but other than that, I don't really think about him, like, overly too much, like, and I can completely understand wanting to deep dive into his character, because he's interesting, he's, like, the suspicious type of interesting, but, like, as a character that, like, stands out for me, personally, I don't think Shidou really does it. Honestly, I would either put him in, like, late B, or even maybe C. And maybe my opinion could change after getting his third trial report. But as of now, I'm not really that attached to him. So I might honestly put him at C. And I'm so sorry for, like, Shidou lovers. So Mahiru, 221 votes. 73% said S tier, 19% said A tier, 6% said B or C, and only 1% said D or F. Wow. She's an incredibly well done and realistic depiction of an abuser, but given how the fan treats her and excuses her so much to the point of frequently making the boyfriend to be a bigger problem than her, I generally can't bring myself to like her anymore as someone with a near identical abuser, no matter how much I try to. And then for Mahiru, we have, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 wonderful comments from Mahiru fan. And then, how many, Tulin? 1, 2, 3. Alright. I cried when I saw this. Remember that my... Oh, sorry. 4. I cried when I saw this. Remember that my beautiful, sweet, wonderful girl is dead. / serious. She's my wife and now she's dead. I genuinely feel so bad for her though. She just kept getting the short end of the stick each trial. No one gets you like I do, Mahiru. It's Mahiru. Mahiru was an angel. Out of the 3, I think her death was the most unfair. Haruka and Shidou were directly targeted by what killed him. Haruka decided to end his own life, and if we ignore how unstable he was, Amane specifically targeted Shidou. But Mahiru's death was more indirect. No one was after her or hated her. Kotoko doesn't count because she's after everyone, yet Mahiru still died after surviving the first attack. I knew she would probably die at some point, but seeing her gone still hurts. She's so sweet. Whenever I look at her, I feel as if I'm looking at warm milk with sugar and sweet honey melted inside and small pieces of chocolate cookies. So for Mahiru, honestly, I think I would put her at, like, a high A. I was actually really starting to like her character before they decided to axe her, because, you know, things happen, and I wanted to really know more about her character and how she became, I know, I think Mahiru fan was saying that she had, like, very overbearing like parents, and she never knew what true love was until she met her boyfriend. I really want to know more about her and her boyfriend's like actual like history, and I hope we get it in her third trial report after watching her die next to Yuno. But I feel like she's a fun character. She added some light to Milgram with her voice dramas. Like she's a very like happy, peppy person. She has like a personality that carries. She has like this light, like airy type of like whimsicalness to her. So I really liked seeing that in like Milgram, and now we don't really have like a character that's like that. I mean, all considering things are like more serious now, rather than like how it was in the first trial. But I think that just even more like sets the tone for the series like going forward, especially even after Mahiru got hurt. It just sets the tone for everything else to like fall like into place. So I really like her as a character. I think she's pretty cool. Alright, now I've got Kazui. Okay, so we've got another A tier lead here. 28% said S tier, 46% said A tier, 20% said B or C tier, and then 6% said D or F. I feel like Kazui's the one I have the least idea about in regards to his crime, and I'm really fascinated by him. I'd say B tier though, just because it's not my personal vibe. I rate Kazui a D because I don't like him. Kazui, D tier. The only thing that stopped me from putting him on F tier is the fact that he protected Fuuta no less. His development is so bad. Could have been better if he got voted guilty T2. He's okay. All right. I wouldn't say all of that. I mean, he's not that bad. He's not that bad. I've seen worse in like you know, I'm not here to like pick on anyone, but have you seen like some Lezen comics like art styles? If you're calling Kazui ugly, then I don't know how to describe that. What's that one dude from Shutline? Not that I've ever read it, but like I've seen like photos of this guy, and I'm just like, man, like why does he look like that? And I know that's probably like a maybe it's artistic like style, like, but objectively I can say that I've seen so much worse, and that Kazui is a grand upgrade from whatever I've seen. I have mixed thoughts on Kazui because he's a great character, but he also pisses me off. Not enough for him to be bottom tier, but definitely not top tier. This honestly describes how I feel. Like, I don't necessarily like really like love Kazui, but I don't hate him either. He's kind of like Fuuta for me. Him and Fuuta are like pretty much in the same boat. Vanilla S tier. Relationship struggles so much, not just his crime, but I enjoy seeing an older man struggle with his identity like that, since it's almost always explored with teens. Not to mention his voice is just. I'm gonna do this. Chef's kiss. About Kazui, S tier because I find him very relatable. My biggest keen, he's so well written. Still, I can understand the people who dislike him. D tier, I hate him, but he's pathetic, so I'll feel bad if I give him F tier. Oh my gosh, this poor man. I'm just kidding. He's like late B or like a C. Like, okay, I'm gonna put it this way. Unlike Shidou, I remember that Kazui exists. Not exactly for the reason that I like him, but for the reason that he has more of, he has more conversation, like, surrounding, like, his whole personality, like, character and stuff like that. So maybe that's why I remember him more. Because honestly, if you asked me to name Milgram characters, Shidou would not be the first one that I say. Kazui would also not be the first one that I say either. So, but I remember that Kazui exists. But I still am not a very great fan of his character. I will say that I wish that they would do a little more with his character, besides like having him like step in to like help the others. Like, okay, that's fine and dandy. You can step in and help others, but I also want you to help yourself a little bit. Like, like, sir, please give me some crumbs or some character development for yourself. You know, focus on yourself. You know, have a little you time. Like, because I still feel like I feel like if he would have been voted guilty at least once, he would have had more agency to like kind of work towards like forgiving himself for what happened for Hinako. But I feel like he's like stuck in this endless loop where he's like, oh, like, I'm just a liar, my lies kill people. There's no way I can ever like forgive myself for what happened. Oh my gosh, like sir, please somebody like. And the one thing about Milgram that makes this suck even more is that you're either completely innocent or like you're completely guilty. There's no way to like converse with these people and say like, hey, like what you did wasn't right, but you also don't deserve to be beheaded in front of billions of people. So for him, yeah, I do have mixed feelings. Like, I'll just put him in late B. I'll put him after Fuuta. Is that fine? Is that fine? I feel bad that Shidou's the only one in C, but anyway, I'm gonna put him like smacked up. Realistically, this list, I would kind of do this, if I'm being honest. But hey, I don't want to be like overly pessimistic. So we'll just keep it like that for now, okay? Okay. But honestly, now I'm thinking about it, like, Kazui, at least Shidou had some character growth though. Like from Shidou wanting to die, from Shidou wanting to die to like him wanting to stay alive to be able to doctor on the others. Like, at least he had some growth. Kazui, I feel like Kazui's just stuck in the same place though. So I feel kind of tossed up on these two. Should I just put both of them in C and leave Fuuta at B? Am I really doing that? Am I really doing that? Whatever. They're fine. My girl. My girl. Momose Amane. Momose Amane. I don't know if I made this clear last time, but you guys should know that I like Amane. I really like her character, her background. I feel like she's a really fleshed out character. I feel like she's one of the most fleshed out characters here. So 247 votes, 56% said S tier, 28% said A tier, 7% said B or C, and then 9% said D or F. Her character writing is absolutely amazing. I adore her. Everything about her is perfect. She's my angel for real. She did no wrong. I'll protect you, Amane. Probably, like, unironically the best friend character. My daughter. She became my second fave in T2. Love her so much. T3 is both the worst and best thing the series has thrown at me as an 03 and 08 fan. It's frustrating because a week after her second video dropped, I was like, oh, she's gonna become a future cult leader if we vote her innocent. And I tried my dang hardest to get her to be voted guilty, only to be roadblocked around 52%. Then I know that we were cooked. Still an interesting character though, A tier. Honestly, I feel like either way, she probably still would have been a cult leader. Not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Each time Amane is cooked, she's done with. There's no helping her. And I feel like that's one reason why she feels like one of the most fleshed out characters for me, is because like her backstory, her, you know, everything is like more clearly shown. And that's another thing that I meant to say about Shidou too. Like, I feel like Shidou's music videos were like, I understood the least. His videos were the ones that I understood the absolute least. Because I feel like there wasn't like a lot to go off of and there wasn't a lot going on, so I just felt even more confused. Maybe that's another reason that I don't feel as connected to Shidou. But anyway, I feel like Amane is like a great character. She killed my favorite character and is the reason why I won't get his third song. But I still can't bring myself to hate her. She's an A tier, honestly, almost S tier. There's a lot to say about her. I'll limit myself even though I tend to ramble a lot. One thing I love most about her, and one that hurts me a lot too, is how kind she is deep down. Yeah, Amane did some really bad things in Milgram. She did them thinking that she was saving and helping others. Her reaction and actions were extreme and deserved to be called bad, but saying that she had bad intentions would be inaccurate. I think the fact that she generally thought that she was doing good things to make the situation even worse. Basically, Amane was doomed from the start, both in her life and in Milgram. But is it wrong that one of the reasons I'm fond of her is because of that? She's fun to analyze. She's very fun. She's such a fun and interesting character. I really do believe that. She's so interesting. As to most of how she managed to worm her way into being the villain of the third trial. Had the voters being a bit smarter and voted her guilty a second time, maybe she would be A or B for me. But I'm biased. The Purge March was my first contact with Milgram, so she has a special place in my heart. I still love Purge March. Maybe once we get Shidou's murder video, everyone will be like, dang, that is so impressive, Amane, and give her respect to innocent folks. I mean, hey, I'm wondering too, like, I honestly, guys, I bet she used them scissors. I bet she used those scissors, I'm not gonna lie. Honestly, I don't even have to communicate with you guys about this. Like, if anyone's watched my Amane reaction videos, you already know that I love Amane's character. I feel like her character is like so very layered, but it also is very clear. Even though, yes, she's the reason why Shidou and Mahiru are dead, but you know, that's the risk of Milgram. If it wasn't her, it was gonna be somebody else. In Milgram, characters were always meant to die. I think that was how it was set up from the beginning. Just, if it wasn't them, it would have been somebody else, and if it wasn't her, it would have been someone else that caused it. So, you know, sometimes that's how it is. We're almost done. I wish I would have done an S poll because, you know, but I forgot. I honestly was gonna do one, but I literally just forgot. So, 0909, I didn't just ask for your opinions on Mikoto, I asked for opinions on John too, because I feel like that's fair. So, 238 votes, 66% said S tier, 22% said A, 10% said B or C, and then 2% said D and F. Mikoto means everything to me. From the moment I saw him, something in me shifted. His presence, his voice, his story all resonated so deeply that I felt like I had found the missing piece of myself. He's more than just a character. He changed my life. His entire being makes me feel seen in a way nothing else ever has. He makes me question, reflect, and growth, showing me that it's okay to be unsure of yourself, to wrestle with inner turmoil, and that even when you've lost something, you're still deserving of understanding. Mikoto isn't just a character I love. He's someone who shaped me, someone who's become a part of me. This may be a joke and this may not be. Alright, I appreciate this this wonderful poetry. I feel like this should be a copy pasta. I genuinely feel like if this was, I feel like if you had posted this on Twitter, this would have genuinely been a copy pasta. Love this man so much, and the voice actor does an impeccable job portraying him. He's the only character whose songs I've listened to so many times. I got sick of them at one point. Love them. Love him. S tier. Gosh, I love them so much. John and Mikoto's relationship is so tragic because it's built on both protection and destruction. John exists to shield Mikoto from pain, but in doing so, he ruins Mikoto's life, and Mikoto resents John for his violent actions and at the same time wants to be him, while John feels unappreciated and useless despite saving him. The worst part is that Mikoto will never truly know John, nor his real intention was just to help Mikoto, because he loves him from the bottom of his heart. Yet Mikoto is forced to live with the consequences of John's existence. He wakes up to broken things, fearful glances, and bloodstains he doesn't even remember, trapped in a life shaped by someone else's choices. No matter how much he struggles, he cannot outrun the shadow of the person living inside him, and that's what scares him the most. You guys, when it comes to Mikoto, you guys just have like such poetry, and I don't know where this comes from. pretty privilege gets him an S tier. He's actually an A or B tier. While I'm no expert on his position, I do enjoy the discussion it brings. A lot of media try to just tackle the subject edit and fails miserably because it's meant to be shocking and nothing more. That's what I'm saying. S tier for John. Generally loved the rough, cold, violent character with the soft and vulnerable side, and I really loved his evolution in T2. I love the concept of him not wanting to have his own identity outside Mikoto's altar, but as time went on, like any person, he started to feel the need to become his own person and develop his own identity. As for Mikoto, B or C tier. I think he's become my least favorite prisoner. I don't hate him, and I still like him, but I don't really care about him anymore. Mikoto used to be one of my favorites, but now I'm not as invested in his character. I don't know how that happened, but it did, and I couldn't stop it, like Mikoto. It still hurts to see a happy guy before, so dead now. And then we have Archie. I don't know who's the biggest Mikoto fan. I don't know if it's Tulin or Archie. I'm gonna let you guys battle that out. But for me, definitely think Mikoto is an S tier. So I'm gonna put him right next to Amane. Mikoto is like, when going into Mikoto's case or character, when I first started Milgram, I was worried because I knew that, because I heard like Mikoto having DID, and I was really skeptical about the way that Milgram would handle it. I just assumed that it would be more of like a shock factor and that there wouldn't be anything to the altar as an actual person themselves. So I was just kind of like, I'm not sure how this is gonna go, because I really do not like the portrayal of an alter only having the role of being a murderer or someone violent in media. Learning about John's character and how much he just wants Mikoto to be happy, it was much different than seeing other forms of media where it's just like, oh, the alter just does it for fun because they can or whatever. They don't even really highlight the actual trauma of what it takes to have to develop DID, or they really don't touch on like anything else besides like, oh, it turns out this person has a murderous alter, that's it. And I really enjoy like seeing like the difference in T2 of them showing of S talking to John, and like John saying like, look, like it was me or whatever, and I just wanted Mikoto to be happy. I wanted him to depend on me if he can't depend on anyone else. Like, I want to be the person that he leans on or whatever. And I do want to know more about Mikoto's backstory, because I want to know how his condition developed. I know that he said that his parents divorced, but I want to know what if like if there was some other like reason, if there was something going on within the household that was giving him like some sort of trauma, because we know that DID stems from like a young age, so it had to be back then for it to be like conditionally accurate. And the thing about like the gatekeeper, because like all theories about there being a Trikoto, and it just makes more sense for him to have like at least another alter besides John, because it's usually like more than one other alter. So I'm very curious and intrigued on Mikoto's character, their relationship between host and alter. I feel like that's really interesting, and I feel like a lot of media just doesn't really highlight that very much. Okay, now we've got our girl Kotoko. Okay, so 251 votes. 25% said S tier, 47% said A tier, 21% said B or C tier, 8% said D and F. Kotoko is the reason Milgram is so involved in plot. Without her verdict, the outcome of the T1 votes wouldn't have been so insane. She's very well involved and amazingly written. S tier, she's the best. She will always be innocent to me. My favorite fictional character. She's such an interesting and fun character. Her views speak to me a lot, even if she goes a little bit far. I can understand her perspective and ultimately made Milgram a lot more interesting. Also, she's hot. A tier. I voted her innocent in T2 because I wanted more drama, you know? respect. Honestly, respect. As a person, in my opinion, she's not that great. And she probably was least likely to change her mentality no matter the verdict. From what I remember, there were only 2 prisoners with no guilt regret. Milgram, and she was one of them. She basically pulls the, if you kill a killer, there's no less killers in the world, but if I kill more. Now as a character, she's crucial in Milgram. The point from before repeats but inverted. We see some people in Milgram that don't regret their crime. Makes their situation much harder to judge. She makes the plot much more interesting. Even if she's the second most responsible for Mappy's death, the audience's works Amane's third, even though technically that's also the audience. Again, I cannot completely hate her for it. She's actually psychotic, but I love her aesthetic so much. She's the guilty queen, B tier but close to A tier. I like her, but I just like her less than other prisoners. S tier off pure agenda. My wife, we are married. Alright, honestly guys, I really like Kotoko. And my mom also likes Kotoko, so shout out to my mom. I'm gonna have to like put her in like the S tier because also like how everyone was saying, like she's the catalyst for Milgram like turning into what it is. I feel like it kind of would have gotten there anyway, but she just pushed it there like earlier. Kotoko, I feel like, honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like no matter what direction her character takes, I feel like she's still going to be an iconic character. Because I feel like, okay, if she has character development and focuses more on like herself, you know, since she has like this really weird thing with her like self-worth, and that's one reason why she's doing all this to begin with. I feel like if she gets character development, that's wonderful. And I feel like if she also doesn't, and I feel like if they make her worse and more dangerous, I feel like that would also be interesting. I feel like no matter what side her character teeters on, I feel like she'll still be written very interesting. Now, it's up to the person whether they like her or not, but I feel like her as a written character will still be very interesting because of her mindset and because of the type of character that she is. Kotoko is a strong character. She's physically strong, and she's also like very mentally stubborn. So I feel like she's going to play like a really like big role. And I also just like really like the vibes that she brings to the table. So there's that. And S, obviously, like S for S. If Jackalope was on here, there's a new tier. I'm gonna turn this D tier. I would turn that D tier to hell, and I would put Jackalope in there. But anyway, let me see if there's anything to rearrange. Honestly, I feel like there might be too many in S. I might move Yuno to like high A. Yeah, something like that. These are my top like favorites. Like I don't feel like, okay, if S doesn't count, then it's Amane, Mikoto, and Kotoko. Like, oh my gosh, like Kotoko's second trial voice drama at the end where she's doing that whispering to S. Oh my gosh, like that sent shivers like down my spine. That was so good. That was honestly so good. Like looking at it from a plot perspective, she's such a good character. Here are my A's, B's, just Fuuta floating in existence, but if I wanted to, I could do this. There's no B tier. I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's just kind of like this. I think. I don't know, like technically I do want to put them in like the same tier, whether it's like B or C, but they're still just kind of like floating down here. They don't make it, none of these three make it up here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Oh my gosh, this took me 1 hour and 30 minutes. Oh my gosh. But yeah, those were the Milgram polls, and I thank everyone in my community for voting on these and for like giving me their perspectives and giving me your perspectives and how you feel about the characters. And I hope that if my ranking does not like do your fave justice, please don't cancel me. But anyway, I guess for the Milgram community, you guys will see me in next month in June for Yuno's third trial. Hopefully the voice drama will be translated, so hopefully I can be able to react to it like when it comes out. So we'll see how that goes. But thank you so much for watching this video if you did, and please remember to like leave a like and a comment of what you think about my final polls. Remember, they can still change. Third trial just started. They can still change, alright? Even if they're dead and we get the report, it can still change, okay? Keep that in mind. And I also have to remake my the case rankings as well, because I lost it. So yeah, I will see you guys in June, and thank you for watching my poll readings and rankings. Arigatou gozaimasu, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.